Hi, I'm Carissa.
I'm Grace.
I'm Kiara.
I'm Sharina.
And we're from Culinary Arts too.
Today, my friends and I will be teaching you some basic knife skills that will be necessary when you're working in a kitchen. First off, I'm going to teach you how to chop. Chopping simply means cutting your vegetable thoroughly and evenly. You often chop vegetables such as onions or celery, but today I'll be using a pre-washed cucumber. So when you're chopping, make sure you hold your fingers inward like so that you make sure you don't accidentally cut your fingers. And with your knife, you hold your index finger on top, your thumb and your middle finger on both sides. And you use a rocking motion, like so. And now you just ease your cucumber underneath the knife, like this. Based on what the recipe calls for, you can chop your vegetable in thin or in thick slices, and that's how you chop.
Hi, my name is Grace and I will be teaching you another knife cutting technique called dicing. The materials you will need is a vegetable, a cutting knife, and a cutting board. First and foremost, you want to grab your tomato and thoroughly wash it until it's ready to clean. After you're done washing, place the tomato on a cutting board to be ready for cutting. Pick up your sharp knife and diligently slice the tomato into long, lean strips. Make sure to keep your fingers and thumb as far away from the blade as possible to avoid any hand injuries. Next, stack the slices of tomato on top of each other and begin slicing it into desired pieces. Then, place the slices horizontally to you and then begin dicing to desired pieces. Repeat this process with any remaining tomato you have. And that's how you dice.
Hi, I'm Kiara, and today I'm going to teach you how to chiffonade. In culinary terms, chiffonade means to finely cut vegetables or herbs into strips of ribbon. First, I will begin with red cabbage. I will take my pre-washed red cabbage and first cut it into a half. Once you have your two halves, cut one of the halves into another half. Then you'll have a quarter. Take your quarter and cut across the grain. This means to cut in the opposite direction of which the layers are laid. Then you cut into fine strips. Once you have your fine strips, you will have your chiffonade cabbage. This type of cut works great with recipes such as coleslaw. You can also use any other type of cabbage or lettuce. Now I will show you how to chiffonade our herb. The herb I'm using today is basil. I will take these pre-washed basil leaves and simply tear them off the stems. Because they are lighter and more flexible, you can simply stack them on top of one another. Once you stack them, roll them tightly. Once you have them rolled, again, cut in fine strips. And that is how you chiffonade.
Hey everyone, I'm Sharina, and today I'm going to show you how to brunoise a bell pepper. A brunoise is a classical French term that basically describes a very fine, tiny dice. A lot of times you'll see these utilized as a garnish. Sometimes they're utilized in cooking processes, but you have to be careful because if you end up cooking them for a very long time, they basically just begin to lose their shape. So a lot of times you'll wind up seeing them in restaurants, for example, maybe just sprinkled over a plate as a little garnish, or maybe over a salad with an instance of something like an onion. Not only does a brunoise add a nice color to your dish, it can also add a very good taste. To get a very thin dice out of the pepper, you first kind of have to flatten it out. So what you're going to do is take off the top part and the bottom part. cut it down the side and open it up. What you're left with is the crunchy part. Next thing you're going to want to do is flatten it out. Take your knife and, almost like filleting a fish, run it very close to the skin. What you're left with is the crispy part of the pepper. Next thing you're going to want to do is julienne the pepper in very thin slices. If you notice what a brunoise is, it's basically just a diced julienne. After you're done with the julienne, you're going to get all of your nice juliennes, stack them, and run the knife through it again, making sure that you are cutting them thinly. And there you have it, brunoise peppers.